Now with the rest of these potatoes, I'm gonna make a small shepherd's pie. Okay, let's go. I'm going to I'm gonna cook this ground up venison. Let me get that on and going. Still partially frozen. I hate it when that happens. I thought it all thawed out. Okay, this is gonna be a minute. I done found this all-purpose seasoning in my cabinet. I'll cook it. I like to cook the seasonings in the meat while it's cooking. Add all the seasonings you want, whatever you like to do. Got some seasoned salt, black pepper, garlic and onion. I'm just gonna sprinkle some on it while it's cooking. While this is cooking, it's not gonna put a lot of fat off because we prepared this meat and there's not much fat in it. It's about 80-20, but it still doesn't leave a lot of fat enough to drain off. But for shepherd's pie, the way I do it, whatever vegetables I have, I cook with the meat. I found some baby lima beans. This was in the freezer. I got a bag of them in there. So they're still partially frozen, but I'm just gonna cook it in here with the meat. Now let's go see what other veggies I have to add. Look who it is. Roxy. Tell them hey. They're looking at you. Tell them hey. Say aw. Oh, you gotta stretch. Okay, well stretch it out, girl. Stretch it out. You gonna tell them hey? No? Okay. Alright, well there's Roxy. I have green beans. I'm gonna strain these and throw them in there. Roxy is like right here, underneath my feet. That's a lot of green beans, but it'll be fine. I knew I should have used my bigger skillet. I just used this one earlier, and so since it was already used, just a pan sear something earlier. I didn't want to dirty up another skillet, but I'm gonna have to. We don't have much room left in that pan, but I want to add some corn. I may not add all of this, but this is how we put our corn up. We put it up, leave it in the husk, and we vacuum seal it. And if we want to cook it on the cob, we can, or if we want to take it off the cob, we can. But this is how we do our corn every year. See, look, I'm pulling this one apart. And I'll go over there and wash it. But look, isn't that pretty? Whoop. Yeah, every now and then you'll find like a bug in here. I mean, but it's frozen and dead, and anyways, I mean, there you go. Just cut this off the cob. It's like having fresh corn. Ooh. I do have one of those little things that you can use, and I just prefer a knife. I really do, especially for this little amount that I'm going to be doing. I just rather do it by hand with a knife. We get our corn from a friend of ours. His name is James. He's a farmer, and he has the most beautiful corn. So I have swapped out pans, which is okay. I can make a gravy in that pan to go with this. Corn in there. I may add more corn. I swear I'm just gonna keep on. It's gonna get bigger and bigger to the point where I'm gonna have to make some more potatoes. So not only do I have leftover potatoes, but I have a little bit of leftover gravy from making cube steak the other night, and I'm gonna put it in this pan with the meat and vegetables. Then I'm gonna make additional gravy over here on this other pan and pour it in there. A lot of people use like a cream of mushroom soup for this instead of a gravy, but either one is fine. I've used both, but if you know how to make a homemade gravy, it's really good like this. Let's go ahead and put some flour in that other pan and start stirring it up. See, I told you it wasn't gonna leave much grease. That's why I don't drain it. I'm actually gonna have to add some grease to this. Let me see. I may use, let me find something. Use a little bit of my frying oil. This is lard, but I've used it a couple times to fry chicken and cube steak in. Now give it a stir. There we go. some milk and salt and pepper. Salt, pepper, and then cook this down to a gravy. I'm not going to get this gravy too thick, and reason being is because it's going to thicken as it cooks in here. So mix all that up, get it all good mixed in. I really don't want to have to cook any extra potatoes, so I'm going to try to thin these out as much as possible. Just look, I wish I had some cream cheese, but I'm all out. All right, I'm gonna bust these up and break them up. Kind of hand mash them in a pot. All right, we're gonna add some milk to thin these out. And I'm gonna add some heavy whipping cream too. I keep tripping over Roxy every time I go to the fridge. I mean, she's right here. Go ahead and season your taters any way you want. I'm gonna put garlic and salt and pepper, which has already had some seasoning from when I cooked them the other day. You do want your potatoes a little soupy because it does thicken up. And so the soupier it is now, it comes out perfect when you put it in the oven. I hope I have enough. Usually I like more potatoes and make it thicker. Spread it all out. And sprinkle with cheese. Whatever cheese you want to use. I'm just using a Publix Mexican cheese. Put this in the oven until the cheese melts. And we are out of the oven, so let's get a bite. I could have left this in there longer for the cheese to melt a little more, but it's fine. Look at that. Look at this. I done mixed it all up. Let's try it. I didn't know that there were actual recipes that people follow for shepherd's pie. I really thought it was one of those meals that you use out of leftovers. That's what I thought. But ooh, I highly recommend making a homemade gravy instead of using like cream of mushroom soup like a lot of people do. This is comfort food at its finest. Okay, anyways, bye, love you.